Hey family, so I was wondering if you are raising your children in the same black trauma that many of us were raised in. And when I talk about trauma, I don't mean anything like child abuse or anything like that, although that could be part of your story. But I'm talking about just some of the mindsets that some of our parents, particularly if you are of a certain age, I'm 54, and many of us, our parents were, if not part of, but just coming up out of Jim Crow, civil rights, and even maybe before then. And so some of the thought processes, such as it's always going to be hard. Black people, it's just always going to be hard for us. Just always expect that. Always expect your life to be a struggle. And yes, we know that. Of course, we have to work 2, 3, sometimes 10 times harder and stronger than our counterparts. But we should not instill in our children the fact that they have to, I guess, always be on guard. It puts that anxiety in them. We want to educate our black children, but yet empower them as well, okay? Another thing, the trauma, and I talk about this a lot, is beating your kids. Again, I'm not saying that if there may not be a time, especially when they're younger, that you might have to swat them on the butt, like you're running the street, you might have to pop them or something like that. But you all know what I'm talking about. Go out there and get the switch and plait the switches up and then drop your pants and let me whoop you. First of all, and then some of y'all have gone up to your child's school and embarrassed them and beat them in front of their classmates. And do you know your child's going to carry that trauma on? So you might as well save some money right now and go on and put it into a therapy fund because they damn sure going to need it. See, it sends two messages. And again, I'm not going to tell you how to parent, but what I am going to tell you is that I do know that when you just always turn to beating your child, that is lazy parenting. Because I promise you, children know how to have deductive reasoning if you teach them. Children do know conflict resolution if you teach them. When I used to be a principal, I saw so many children who I could tell were beat profusely, and then others who parents took time to talk to them. Because when it came to conflict resolution, that child, the first one, would always just instantly go to violence and lash out. The second one, who parent took time to teach and to educate them on their emotions and to verbalize them, a lot of times use their words to express themselves. So all I'm saying to you parents, especially as black parents, is let's not parent in our traumas, okay? I grew up in a household where my father was like, go out to the love tree and get a switch. First of all, if you're going to use something to beat me, but you're going to call it a love tree, that's distorted. And again, so much of what we do as black people, even subconsciously, has come from us. Some of it came from the plantation. I know all of us black folk didn't come from slavery, so don't give me that bullshit. I get tired of y'all leaving those comments. A lot of times that switching and beating, it came from a place of survival during the plantation because, of course, if a child got out of line, the slave was afraid that master was going to sell their child. So it was a way of putting fear and control in that child, not only by the black parent, but also by the slave owner. But we ain't on that kind of plantation, but many of us are still in a mental plantation, and that's why you're still resorting to plantation parenting. So again, I just wanted to encourage you all that you have what it takes to parent your children. You don't have to always just beat the hell out of them, okay? A lot of y'all beat your kids and they still end up in prison. Just saying. Talk to you soon. Be blessed. Bye.